Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to Moscow region. Now today I'm actually in a very big shopping center, but the video is going to show you a Moscow typical supermarket. Now it actually is in this shopping center, but it's in the old part of the shopping center on the lower ground level. So we're going to head there now, and we're going to go check it out. Now, for any followers of the channel, and you know a lot of the videos I make tend to be about shopping, supermarkets, shopping centers, this place is massive. Now, it's only essentially 3 levels, but the actual height of the stores is essentially almost like 2-level shops. You can see here how big they are compared to the people walking by. This place is just silly how big it is. And quite literally where I was just sitting, sort of setting up the camera to head downstairs, there's a H&M here. And it's really very, very relaxed and chill. You know, people, oh, it's closing, you know, it's the last stock. Everything is running out. But there isn't really kind of the panic amongst the staff or shoppers in there at all. Now, a lot of people do tend to ask me, where am I in Moscow? You know, let us know where you were, because, you know, I don't know where this shopping center is. It's called Columbus Shopping Mall, or Shopping Center. Columbus. It's not very Russian, is it? I guess Christopher Columbus, maybe he had a Russian cousin at some point. There's a perfume shop right here. And we're going to find our way down to this supermarket, because I haven't been to this shopping mall before. I was very much recommended to come here by some friends here in Moscow, and a few subscribers to the channel actually. They told me about coming here, and it's just crazy how big this place is, and just the sheer size of the kind of the escalators and the columns of the building. It's just, I don't know, I'm going to say it's grossly oversized. I don't know if that's the right word to say, but it's big. And there's kind of all these separate kind of lobbies as you walk around. And just the sheer height of the stores here, these are kind of like double height shops. It's kind of hard to kind of get a feeling for how big they actually are. But as they've got these bright neon video screens everywhere. But look what's right here, coffee and donuts, or donuts and coffee, which is basically the Krispy Kreme right here. So yeah, let's find this supermarket, shall we? Now we finally managed to find the supermarket. Now, I literally kind of just got here, so I didn't really have a good walk around ahead of time, but this is called OK Supermarket. Okay, so now the whole thing with this, versus my other videos, if you've watched previous ones, I went to Globus. This is a Russian-owned supermarket chain. They're all throughout Russia, but primarily in Moscow and St. Petersburg. And the other store that I've sort of shown quite heavily is Globus, which is actually a French supermarket. So this is actually Russian-owned. So this should be interesting, just to see a few basic differences, but OK Supermarket right here. Now, I just want to point out a couple of things that might be a little bit different to everybody else in the world, depending on where you live, of course. So this little table right here has got a heat press, and it's got plastic bags right here that you can basically just pull out. But essentially, if you've got shopping from another store, you can put your items in the store, in the plastic bag, and then you can heat press seal them, so that basically there's no way that you could put items in there if they want to check your bag on exit. You've actually heat pressed and sealed your items in the plastic bag here. And another thing that OK is implementing now, they haven't got it implemented at this store, which is a bit of a shame, but they're rolling it out across all of their network, is they've got self-checkout. So they'd actually have hand scanners in these charging kind of racks right here. And then you pretty much have to be part of the loyalty program, which is pretty straightforward to kind of log in and register. But you can actually scan your goods as you shop, and you can check prices, quantities, and then you can basically do the self-checkout as you leave the supermarket. So walking in, it's kind of a bit of a mix between a variety kind of department store, I guess you'd call it, or a homeware store. And then it's got the supermarket towards the other end of the supermarket. So here's all the kids stuff, games, toys, clothing, There's also kids' baby food over here, nappies, diapers, whatever word you want to call them, Pampers. I think a lot of people call them by brand or depending on which country you're from. But there's a good stock of them there, let me tell you. Now, the difference being here, if you compare this store to Globus, there's definitely a more simpler kind of feel to the place. I know that they are working on basically remodeling the stores and essentially bringing them a bit more into the 2022s, if you like. The store's definitely got a bit of an older feel to it, but there's a lot of stock. This is just walking in the entrance here. Now, just going on a bit further here, I'm going to try and do this in a few as take as possible. There's some electrical items. Nothing on display though, it's all in boxes. You really want to touch them, don't you, and feel them and figure out what you want. And there's some kitchen stuff over here. And at the back there's some bicycles. It's really kind of a bit of an eclectic mix. There's some bedding over here, some pillows, some kettles. There's a couple of things out of boxes right there, but it's really kind of a mix of things. So it didn't take long to start putting out gloves and hats for winter time coming on in a few months' time. They've got a little bit of a stash here of kind of the beanies, and then some gloves, and some kind of rubber boots there if you want them for the snow. And then just classic clothing, lots of ladies' stuff. All the stockings, an entire aisle of ladies' stockings. How much do you possibly need? A lot to choose from. It's really a very all over the place mix. Some clothing, and then there's a fireplace right here. I always buy my fireplace at the supermarket. I don't know, do you guys do that at home where you live? And there's some more sort of slippers. And there's even car stuff here. Just the basic kind of things though. Wiper blades, the smellies for the car, and then there's some different like car cleaning stuff. And there's a bit of hardware stuff over here as well, so you need something for your house or apartment. And wouldn't you know it, I found some microwaves. And there's, what are these things called with these kind of like shelves that you put in them here? These is like a warmer or something? I don't know what they call this, but there's some microwaves here. But these are, again, these are all very generic names. Tesla and Econ. I don't know these names at all. But it's just a little bit less than $100. About $80 or so. This one's about $60. They're very cheap looking microwaves. I must admit, they're not anything that's kind of got a bit of a weight and meat to it, you know. Check this microwave out, it's a Hyundai. I actually had a Hyundai car in Australia, a Hyundai Getz. So I wonder if it's got the kind of reliability of my car. This one's 7,000 rubles, so about about $120. So just walking around the dairy section here, it's a very classic kind of supermarket feel to it. It's definitely got an older feel to the place than if I compare it to Globus. Eggs in the fridge, look at that. And a lot of the stores that you go to in Moscow, the eggs aren't in the fridges, so that's kind of interesting they do that here. And they've got a lot of eggs too. No shortage of eggs. Yeah, classic box of eggs for 90 rubles. So about $1.50. I'm just doing these conversions in my head. I guess you could kind of work it out based on where you live. Now, I always find it interesting when you come to supermarkets in Russia, no matter which store you go to, the sheer size of them. Okay, so they're very, very big. They're very well stocked. And then they only have this one aisle or half an aisle of frozen stuff. Now, outside of Europe, I'm going to say, or Russia, I go to the supermarket in Australia, in America, they've got sort of rows and rows of frozen goods. And all they really have here is pelmeni, which is the dumplings with the meat inside that you can boil. And they've got a little bit of ice cream on the other side. And that's about it. It's sort of interesting how little frozen goods there are. And yet if you compare it to most other countries in the world, it's definitely, there's There's definitely a lot more in other countries. They have a very big deli section here as well. So this is all the meats over here. So they've got the ladies here that'll weigh out the meats that you choose. And then there's even some mince here, if you're going to make some pasta or burgers. And then there's some salads. There's even roast chickens. Actually, look at that. There's even the kind of the fried chicken there, like KFC. And you buy this by weight. So typically it's by 100-gram weight. And there's the deli over here with all the pre-cooked food. So a lot of the ones in this fridge are all heat and eat style. So you can get shashlik there, the different meats, sausages, very nice, meatballs. So we come across the fruit and vegetable section. Now it's not overly big in here, but they've got all the choices. Everything you need. There's even some kind of specialty fruit over there as well, which a lot of stuff that may be out of season you can still get. The prices are up a little bit, but now at the moment grapes are the big thing. So grapes, look over here, here's all the different oranges, plums, nectarines. There's even some mangoes and pineapples there. And bananas are always popular. Bananas are about $1 a kilo right now. That's about the normal price depending on where you go. So still some watermelons. The normal one, 25 rubles per kilo. So about 40 cents a kilo for watermelons. Now, I call these rock melons. I'm just wondering if you guys have a different name for them, but rock melons are what I call them. I like this right in the middle of the fruit and veg section here. They've got all of the different pickled vegetables. So you can get pickled cucumbers, pickled gherkins, pickled tomatoes. They've even got tomato sauce back there. So these are all the different sort of salads that you put on the table. It's very nice. There's a lady there that basically weighs it out for you. Oops, right there. And then all the different types of mushrooms as well, pickled mushrooms. Anybody like pickled mushrooms? I really love them. The ones here in Moscow, very nice. Plenty of choices of potatoes. And then over here more pickled stuff. Look at all the different cold slaws. There's even beetroot over there, beetroot salad. Yeah, all of these different pickled vegetables. And walking around a bit further, I must admit there's a lot of staff in here. Almost every other aisle you're seeing the staff doing their kind of restocking, refilling, replenishing. Here's the breakfast cereals and mueslis. And here is the bakery section or the bread section. Now they do actually have the gloves right here, so you can put them on. These are basically disposable gloves, and they've got the little sheaths that you can put the bread in. And the idea is you put your gloves on, reach in and grab yourself a bread roll or breadstick. Actually, this is the one that we buy quite a lot. This one right here, it's about $1.10 or so, and it's a kind of a garlic bread. But it comes in brown bread. Anyone has garlic bread in brown bread? A lot of French stick and baguette type ones here as well. The kind of classic one is 19 rubles, so about 40 cents for a full breadstick. And you'll see here the bakery back here as well. This is where all the magic happens. So everything you'll see here is all done in-house. So they pretty much round the clock doing all of the baking and packaging and labeling up. And there's some cakes here also, and different like muffins. Now I have shown this when I did the Globus video, so if you are a subscriber to the channel you might recognize this from another video, but they have the tapped beers right here. It's set up like a bar even. They'd be having someone right behind there. There's nobody there at the moment, but basically you can choose which beer you want on tap. It's kind of exactly like a bar, but instead of getting a glass of beer, you get a plastic bottle of beer. So it's basically like a Coke or Pepsi or Sprite bottle, whatever you want to call it. This is a 1 litre one here. And you let them know what your choice is, and then they'll put a label on it, and then you've got beer on tap. Then over here at the soda section and all the carbonated drinks, looks like all of the well-known brands that I've talked about a lot. Pepsi, Coke is all gone, Fanta. Now we're down to Fancy and Funky Monkey. And here is the, well, this is not the Fanta one, but this is the CocaCola brand, which essentially is the one that's out of the Coca-Cola factory, but it's called Good Cola. And then Everest right here is the one that's from Pepsi. So this would be Miranda, basically, if anyone knows the difference in the brands. Yeah, there's really not a shortage of choices, even if you can't get Coca-Cola. Now, the only actual Coca-Cola they've got here is the Orange Coke, which I think won't run out for a year or two. I'm pretty sure that it's going to last forever and ever and ever. But Jumbo Cola, Cool Cola, yeah, even Cool Cola Zero, Funky Monkey. Yeah, there's still plenty of other brands right here. That's the CocaCola right there. That's the one that's from the existing Coca-Cola factories. This store has a very big wine selection also, between kind of, I think it's about 5 aisles in total. Yeah, there's champagnes over here, and then wines kind of keep going all the way down over here. There's a lot of choices. And then we come around the corner here to all the different spirits. So there's vodkas there, gins, and then over here the whiskies. Plenty of choice. Now, it really depends on where you live. I mean, you can see here this is a little bit quieter. I mean, a lot of people do have stores where they live. Literally, there's either beer stores or there's alcohol stores in their apartment building or within walking distance of where they live. So it may not be necessary that people come all the way out here to do their shopping for sort of their alcohol. Fireball. Everyone knows Fireball very well, I think. It's got a very nice selection of alcohols here. Check this out, Jim Beam Double Oak. You don't actually even see that in some shops in other countries, let alone here in Russia. Jim Beam, Maker's Mark, plenty of choices. Now, of course, not all the cash registers are open right now, but this is register number 51 down at the very end here. So when they do open all the aisles, or all the register checkouts, I guess, they've got 51 checkouts. You can see off in the distance how far the kind of supermarket stretches. The only thing is here, they've only got one entrance. So if you come in the shopping center from one end, you've got to walk the full length of the shopping center or the supermarket to get in. Now, the one thing I'm going to point out here, which is interesting, these were the existing Coca-Cola fridges, but they've taken the signage off them, literally peeled them all off, and then they've got them stocked with other items, but the red ones are the Coca-Cola ones. And then these grey ones would have been the Pepsi fridges here. So they've actually got a few Pepsi products. They've got the Everest in there. So it's interesting that these are basically the exact fridges that would have always been here. They've just torn off all the labeling and branding from them. The one thing that Russia does very well is the amount of choices of water. So still water, sparkling water, there is a lot of choices. Like really, it just kind of keeps going. And this is, you know, this is a very big supermarket here, so they've got a lot to fill, but plenty of choices of different waters. And the waters keep going, they wrap around the next aisle as well. I didn't realize there was this many. There's the house brands, and then there's some of the brand named water choices as well, but a lot of people don't drink the tap water in their apartments and houses here in Russia. So a lot of people drink bottled water. That's why these supermarkets have so many choices. Now this little part here is for my friend Phil. So Phil, if you're watching, this is kind of an interesting thing. Now I wonder if anyone's ever noticed this in their supermarkets where they live. So on each shelf here, they've actually got what the layout has to be for the staff that are doing the refilling. And all the way down every shelf in the whole store, they've got these labels that basically tell you how the shelf should look, which I think It's kind of very interesting. It's not really for the customers, for you and I, but for everybody else that works here. They know how to restock the shelves. Let's come across this Heinz section here. Now, does anybody know that on the side of the glass bottle Heinz it says 57 varieties, where you tap the bottle to let the sauce come out? Now, very typically here, all the sauces are in pouches, these kind of squeezy pouches with the lid on. But I think I found about 15 of the 57 varieties right here. And along with the ketchups, they have around about 40 different types of mayonnaise. They love mayonnaise in Russia. It's like their, I don't know, it's like the ketchup of Russia. You put mayonnaise on all sorts of different things and mix it up. But there's all these different flavors of mayonnaise, whole fridge of them. Then there seems to be no problem with stocks of sugar, plenty of sugar. You can get the generic kind of 1 kilo bags here. It's about $1 a kilo. And then if you want the sugar cubes, we tend to buy this smaller one here, 74 rubles. This store also has a really nice fish section as well. You can see here all the different cured fish and dried fish, smoked fish. There's a whole corner of it right here. And then as we walk a bit further down here, we'll see they've even got the fresh fish. Check this out. All the salmons, even the bait fish. They call this fish fry. I'm not sure what the name of this is, but check out all the fish here. And then these ladies can also fillet them as well. A lot of people like to do it themselves and take them home. But they've got the aquarium here. Check this out. And they've even got mussels as well, right in these live tanks. Check that out. And have a look at the fish. This is the Moscow aquarium right here. Who needs to go to the aquarium when you can come to the supermarket? Check out all these fish. They all look actually kind of happy in here. They're not sort of down the bottom sleeping. They're all very happy. And then as usual, there's aisles and aisles of personal care items, mostly focused on the ladies more than the men. The men get about half an aisle of things, but there's kind of rows and rows of personal care items. Stuff everywhere. Whole half an aisle here of toothpaste. You know, toothpaste is everywhere in the world. I mean, I'm not trying to show you something you haven't seen before, but just the sheer amount of it and stock and how full the stores are. All the washing powders here, fabric softeners. Then I'm pretty sure that the whole world has toilet paper now. Let me know in the comments, is your supermarket not got any toilet paper? But there's kind of, this is overstocked almost. There's too much of it. It's on both sides. Have a look over here. It's on this side as well. Do you still have toilet paper in your supermarket? Let me know in the comments. So one of the main reasons I did want to come to this supermarket is because it's a Russian owned and operated brand. And at the moment, these guys, the OK group, I guess you would call them, are the market leaders in online shopping. And they've got the fastest growth amongst all the other supermarket brands in Russia for people that are doing click and collect or home delivery food shopping. No other supermarket brand has kind of got to the level that OK has done. They've obviously kind of cornered the market, so to speak. So that's a great thing for them locally. And I mean, the videos that I made at Globus, look, this is a French chain of supermarkets, and then to come to a Russian chain, just for you guys to see the differences. Definitely plenty of people in here. It does feel much busier than Globus when I go shopping there. People everywhere. It's, you know, I think it's a good thing, right? I mean, the economy's, I guess the food economy's doing well. I guess a lot of people are going to pick me apart in the comments that, you know, that sanctions aren't affecting the food industry and the food supermarkets, but there's a flow-on effect somewhere that gets affected. Oh, look at the pasta here. Problem with me making videos in supermarkets, it always makes me hungry. Wants me to sort of buy things and shop more. And then this is the kind of the normal basket that everybody has here. You can see this pretty much, all you can hear in my head is these wheels or these plastic baskets rolling around the store. Everybody likes these over the traditional trolleys. Now, I don't think I could come to a Russian supermarket that's Russian owned and not show the quintessential Russian fridge right here with caviar and vodka in the same fridge. I love how they paired it together. So they've even got the vodka chilled in the fridge, obviously, right? But I just think that's kind of neat that they've got the different vodkas and then the caviars in here all in the same place. So I was just chatting to one guy there that was curious about the video I'm making. We spoke about the brand OK, and I'm like, oh, you know, this is how you say it. He's like, yeah, because everything in the store is OK. And I think that's kind of just appropriate, and it kind of, you know, makes sense of the store when you come in here. Everything's just OK. You know, it doesn't have to be high premium quality and high prices. You know, it doesn't have to be the kind of cheap no-name products. Everything is OK. Okay, everybody, we've come to the end of the video, walking around a Moscow typical supermarket. I'm not sure if that's how the title will be. We'll figure it out later, but hope you've liked this. Found this nice and interesting. I've never been here before. I've heard so much about it. I was told to come here because this is a Russian-owned supermarket. It's not French, it's not German. You know, this is Russian-owned, Russian-operated, Russian goods. And overall, I'm very impressed. Now, the only thing that I'm sad about is there isn't an OK store where I live in Moscow region. So I've got to kind of make this trip all the way over here to come check this out. It's about an hour and 15 minutes to get here by public transport. So all for you guys. Thanks for watching Traveling with Russell. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think. Post a comment. Yeah, what do you think of a Russian supermarket? Tell me in the comments, everybody. All right, I'm off on another adventure. Bye.